The Lost World Jurassic Park, and I regret saying this, but it used to be my favorite Jurassic Park film. Hello there, namaste. So Hammond has turned a new leaf and has decided to become a humanitarian, saving the dinosaur population that he gave birth to, I guess because he thinks he's God. Of course, I'm just adding that part in. But everyone has decided to swear themselves to secrecy. Malcolm has broken his NDA and his career has been ruined because the world believes that dinosaurs do not exist. 4 years have passed since the happenings on Jurassic Park. John Hammond has lost his company to his nephew, and John Hammond has this bright idea to send a small team of 4 people, including Ian Malcolm, Ian Malcolm's girlfriend, a photographer named Nick, and some technician engineer called Eddie, who's actually the only good person in the main 4 crew. But this film, technically, is basically about humanitarians versus poachers. However, it misses the mark dramatically. The humanitarians led to the death of not only Eddie, the only good character on their crew, but to the death of many of the poachers. Their actions led to their lives being ruined. The poachers aren't poachers. They're people who are just hired by InGen to do a job. And the poachers are the ones who end up saving the humanitarians when the T-Rexes attack them. It's one of those things where it's like, I think it's trying to tell me a message, but I'm getting the wrong message. The best character in this film is the poacher, is the hunter. He's there to hunt down big game. He wants his trophy. That's all he wants. And as he achieves it, he ends up walking away. I was wanting most of the lead cast to die. I wanted Sarah to die. I wanted Nick to die. I want to say I wanted Malcolm to die, but his only mistake was wanting to save Sarah. He should have just let her die. And is it just me, or does it seem like Nick and Sarah are the ones in a relationship? I feel no chemistry between Malcolm and Sarah. Absolutely none. They feel like they don't even know each other. It feels like they're there just saying lines. However, Nick and Sarah seem to have a chemistry going on about them, and it seems like they've met for the first time, allegedly, but it's just like, why does it feel like these two, who have never met before, have a much better chemistry than the boyfriend-girlfriend? There's a part where the raptors are hunting down the main crew. I was hoping Nick would die. I don't remember seeing him after that point, but he doesn't come back after that point. But it's just like, you could at least kill off more of these annoying characters. Malcolm was constantly whining because he didn't want to be there. Sarah was constantly ignoring everything. Nick was the humanitarian who destroyed everything, led to the death of dozens of people. Because it's funny, in this film, you can see that they're trying to make you hate the poachers. As the film is going on, it's just like, okay, I'm not supposed to like these characters, but why are they the coolest characters on screen? Every time they're there, the things they have to say, the things they're doing, all of it is just either what they're paid to do or what they say. They just have the smarts. They know how the world works. Because of course, Nick, being the humanitarian, doesn't believe anyone else has the right to speak, but the poacher has dialogues just like, no, I climb Mount Everest to live. It's just like one of those things. Everyone does things differently. You can't just force everyone into one small little box. But maybe that's what Steven Spielberg was going for. Maybe he hates humanitarians and was like, you know what, let me paint them in a very bad light. Because this film, it's like you watch it and it's like, humanitarians are awful human beings. They literally don't care about anyone else. They literally don't. I gotta say, the hero of the story was, you know, the main hunter, was the poacher. I loved his hat. I loved his goal. I loved what he wanted to do. He knew he was the second greatest hunter. He wanted to take down the first greatest hunter. He wanted to take down the T-Rex. But it's funny how the first film, it's like every character has their own arc. You dislike them, but they are human beings. Here, they're primarily just caricatures. They literally aren't real, especially the humanitarian crew. None of them seem legit. That's how this felt. They literally felt like caricatures. None of them really brought anything to the table. I only enjoyed it when I heard the poacher open his mouth. Anytime his crew had something to say, it was normally something more in-depth. Sure, not all of them were great people, but the poacher in AJ, I think he called the guy, his second in command, they seemed to be level-headed people. They knew what they wanted in life. They were content. Unlike the 4 main characters we had. Well, technically 3. Well, yeah, 4. Because for some reason, Malcolm invited his daughter to the whole thing. Yeah, she was just there because it worked in the first film, so let's bring a kid in the second film. I mean, you could make a film on this dynamic going to the island just to hunt. I mean, there is a film there. Imagine a father, somewhat out of his mind, you know, a survivalist type, takes his child, who's probably in his teens, to go hunt a dinosaur. I mean, you have a story there. Maybe the child doesn't want to harm a dinosaur, but the father's kind of pushing him. You can force something there. It's family dynamics, but you have dinosaurs around. To me, that already sounds more interesting than The Lost World. Yes, I regret to say it, I loved this film when I was a kid, but let's be honest, that was primarily because of all the guns, all the dinosaurs, all the driving off-road in the bushland, and then a dinosaur loose in the city. It's weird how this IP keeps making movies. I mean, seeing the first one, I enjoy. Seeing the second one, it's just like, this is a piece of garbage. And the third one's supposed to be the worst of them. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be checking that one out. Thank y'all for watching. Talk to you next time. Doodles.
You guys got a video? It's so bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait, wait on that.